Ajinkya Rahane always had his game, Sadik. It's not that he had the basics right, and he can play all three formats. It's just that confidence. I'm sure every cricketer would appreciate it. The moment they get the confidence, the moment they get the freedom to play, then they start scoring, and that's exactly what has happened with Rahane.
Very good afternoon to all of you. I would want to throw the ball in Satish's court. Satish, we're going to get started with this latest tie between CSK and KKR, in which Ajinkya Rahane did very well. It looks like he has upped his game, in T20 and to never seen before levels. So how do you see his evolution?
Ajinkya Rahane always had his game, Sadik. It's not that he had the basics right, and he can play all three formats. It's just that confidence. I'm sure every cricketer would appreciate it. The moment they get the confidence, the moment they get the freedom to play, then they start scoring, and that's exactly what has happened with Rahane. In fact, it's not just Rahane. Whoever to say all those discards to say like whoever has been discarded, or the ex-Indian players who have been discarded from every franchising come into CSK, and then they become great performers. I think that's the beauty of CSK as a team. And then I think a lot of credit should go to Dhoni to allow him to play the way and utilize his potential. I think that's where the big difference lies.
Yeah, which is true. Which is true. I was coming to that. Is it like Dhoni has finally got his men in yellow in control? He's got a fantastic combination there. There is Matisna also. Do you think he's finally got he's got, because RCB is on the rise, and it looks like there's going to be exciting tournament going forward.
Yeah, CSK. It's always I think these great teams, the CSK or Mumbai, these teams who have won 9 titles between them. They look for the momentum. The moment they get the momentum, they don't let it go. So they are in that sense. I think CSK has hit them form quite early in the tournament, which is a good thing, because generally first half they have a very slow start, and then they start peaking it through the mid period. But in this year, I think they have done quite well to have a good beginning, and the team has also come down pretty much. Like everything is now intact. Uh, uh,
Yeah. Sai, I was sort of, thinking about Mohammad Siraj. This guy is got a purple cap now, and he's also sort of risen under Kohli, as we see. So is Arshdeep, for instance. They're doing fantastic in terms of the bowling department. How do you see the rise? He's a 29-year-old young man, and his rise has been also spectacular. So, if you would want to comment on Siraj's performance in this IPL and Arshdeep's also.
And what a performance, both Siraj and Akshadeep. And it's actually good news for Team India. And one thing I really like about the Siraj is that under Virat's captaincy, he is doing phenomenally well. And
Right.
he's giving him the aggression that is required, and he's bowling in the right areas. And that's where it actually really counts. And you can see RCB is doing well because the purple cap is also theirs, and the orange cap is also theirs. Faf has got the orange cap. And in the
That's
fielding,
right.
Virat Kohli is also got 8 catches, the most number of in the IPL as of now.
Right. Yeah, so I was coming to Faf. Actually, he's got the orange cap, and his recent knock of 62 versus RR. How do you think that's sort of how do you see Faf's performance in this tournament?
He's come with a different level line of playing. I mean, he's doing phenomenally well, and especially when Virat is not performing, he takes over the mantle and he does his job with exuberance. I mean, he's one of the best players I've seen in this tournament, and he's coming out and hitting the ball in the right areas, and also coming out even Stevens, and
Okay,
definitely
wonderful.
he is a sure thing for RCB.
Yeah, Paul. We were reserving the best bits because you are the international amongst us. How different do you think is the role of a wicketkeeper after the advent of the T20 format? For instance, I wanted to ask you this question specifically.
Yeah, I think it's crucial. I think you're obviously Dhoni is captain. and the main orchestrator of the whole team. So as a wicketkeeper, you're the extra eyes and ears, aren't you, for your team? You get the angles right, all the preparation you've done beforehand about the matchups, about the fields. You know, you get a feel for a guy on a different day, you know. So each day is unique, and you play a huge role. The support of the captaincy is enormous if you're not a captain.
Sure. As a follow-up on that, as a wicketkeeper, how do you train budding talent? You know, also as a coach for the Leicester Country Club and the Mentors Academy. I mean, how do you train this budding talent that's coming up?
Well, it's certainly, I think coaches can help. Coaches want leaders in dressing rooms. A leader isn't just a captain. A leader is somebody that says great words, that is inspirational themselves. And that can be keeping calm at the right times, which is really, really important in big competitions like the IPL. The calm heads are crucial. And I think coaches and captains always look for extra people to add value to their team. And if you can do that as a wicketkeeper at a young age, I think that's really, really important.
Sure.
Sorry, if I may jump in now.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. Paul, how do you think, the cool head, that means the moment you talk about cool head, we always I associate Dhoni with that. So how important, or what kind of a role as a cool captain Dhoni has been playing?
Yeah, I mean, generally before these games, you're going to have a strategy that you're going to look at. Your strategy A. That person versus that person, they're going to bowl for 2 or 3 overs. If it goes well, they're going to get an extra over in. So you've got to have plan A, plan B. It's when those don't work well that you need the ultra calm heads, because all of a sudden then you're being thrown into disarray, and you have to have fluidity. You have to be able to be calm and know, right, who's our next death bowler? Who's the guy right now who can just create calm for us, get hit into a quadrant of the ground if we're fielding or when we're batting, right? Who now can take the responsibility and not get out for 2 overs to create the calm to then go again? And I think that's where what Dhoni's so good at. And I think, you know, everybody who's, you know, I worked with Faf du Plessis in the T10, and you know, he's that type of guy that is just his cricket knowledge and awareness of what's coming up in a couple of overs or what's happening, where they can go, is crucial. You have to have guys in that dressing room, and the earlier that can happen, the better for a team who have got the mindset, they're thinking cricket all the time. And that's where the youngsters, we've got to get our youngsters in all cricket everywhere around the world, thinking cricket, thinking like a captain, because having leadership out in the middle under pressure is every captain's dream.
Paul, I want to come in with something that has been nagging me, and that's a talking point about Arjun Tendulkar's debut. There's a lot of press, on it, and I wanted to hear your you've seen him. He's finally debuted. How do you see the lad?
Firstly, I've seen the lad work so hard at Lord's Cricket Ground in the indoor nets. Whenever Sachin's visited the UK, I've seen him several times in there. Every time I see him, he's pouring with sweat. Is a young man that's really focused on his job. Like all of us, you know, it all takes time to be a fantastic driver. We're all worried when we first get hold of that wheel. We're all scared, and we're all a bit worried about what's to come. So It takes time to develop. He's going to take time to develop. Youth, you always have slight inconsistencies of youth, and you don't get what you get with a seasoned pro and like Ajinkya Rahane, who we are absolutely delighted here with at Leicestershire, because he joins us at Leicestershire straight after the IPL, and it's given him this new lease of life. So we can't wait to have him as a fox in the coming few weeks. But young Tendulkar, he's got the weight of India on him, hasn't he? Because it's so tough for him because of dad, obviously. But it's a different role he's playing. He seems to be very focused on what he has to do, and very clear with his plans when he spoke to the press. I was really impressed with that. So he's going to come good. And this is, you're being thrown into the lion's den, and it's sink or swim for many youngsters. And he's swimming brilliantly. I wish him well, and it's exciting to see him move forward, because it's a tough role he's got. It's a tough role.
Perfect. On that note, I wanted to ask you about Harry Brook also. What happened to him after the century?
Yeah, that happens, doesn't it? It is. I keep talking about small margins. T20 cricket is the smallest of margins in all sport. So, yeah, Harry's high class. He's going to come back, and the cream always rises to the top. I keep saying these things, and it's so true. But he's a match winner. You want every player in your squad to win 1 or 2 games when it's their time, and Harry will come back and do that. People, you can't be match winning every day. That's fine.
And Sai, you are a fan of SRH. So
Yep.
Tell me, you lost 2 games this week. What's going wrong?
See, if you look at the leaderboard, I mean, every after today and tomorrow, the halfway stage is over. So everybody is in that stage where they have won some, they've lost some. So SRH also is there, and I'm sure, like Paul was saying, Harry Brooks will definitely come back, and I'm rooting for him, and I'm rooting for SRH. They've got the best team on paper. Unfortunately, they have not been doing well. Today, I think they are meeting Delhi Capitals, and once they meet Delhi Capitals, the winner of them goes to I think they will be having 6 points. And it is a challenge, and they're yet to come back. They're yet to come as a team. The second half of the second stage of the IPL will probably bring them up the leaderboard and probably to the playoffs.
Hopefully. Satish, I wanted to ask you about Mumbai Indians. So they've been struggling to gain momentum. 5 times title winners, what do you think is going wrong for them?
Actually, Mumbai had a decent run before this loss against Punjab. I think that's where they lost 1 game after in 4 games. I think comparatively, if you look at in comparison to last season, I think Mumbai is in a far better state than what they are last year. So I think there is nothing, not much of a real trouble for Mumbai. In fact, taking on your question, I'm going to ask Paul about this next one. Paul, did you watch that game between Punjab and Mumbai? How impressed are you with Sam Curran's leadership skills for Punjab?
If I'm being brutally honest, I didn't see a lot of it. I saw quite a bit of the game yesterday. The Kolkata Knight Riders and Chennai, unfortunately. But I was just pleased that that young Roy got some runs finally and came to the party, even though he's tweaked his leg sadly.
Also, I wanted to talk about a little bit about these players like Shubham Gill and Sanju Samson. So could you? I mean, you must have seen their games. How do you see those boys? Paul.
Oh, both high class. I mean, Gill, for me, is exceptional, and a player who has great grace, has power and grace. Somebody who is going to be he's already a star now, but I think his numbers are going to go through the roof in time. So yeah, I really watched closely because I saw him at close quarters when India were based out of Leicestershire last year. It was incredible for them to see them up close and how hard they work, how much work they put in on and off the field. The communication together as a group was outstanding. And Gill, I think, is a real leader in the future. I really do.
Sai, you seen Devon Conway's game, CSK versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. How were you impressed by his game?
Oh, definitely. He's now after he's giving Faf a run for his money for the orange cap, So and that's one thing I really like about Dhoni and his team. He is playing by his strengths. He does not have a very strong bowling team except for Prati Rana and now Akash Singh. He is really marshalling his resources and playing to his strengths. And Ajinkya Rahane is having the last laugh. He's coming back with a vengeance after being dropped. He's coming back and he's playing an innings of a lifetime. I think Paul should be lucky that you've taken him.
Paul, final question to you. We've seen this crop of young lads like Rinku Singh and Siraj and others, come basically from these second-tier towns in India. Earlier because the nature of the game was such that always the very urban kind of a game where people would come from really educated elite classes. Now you've seen people like Siraj and Rinku Singh who come from these very small towns and they do exceptionally well. How do you see this new trend? Do you think, and how how do you think IPL is responsible for bringing out this talent in this way?
Firstly, I think it's absolutely wonderful. Being a Cumbrian farmer son myself from a little tiny village, I see so much similarities. They have to work a little bit harder. They've got to do more traveling. They need so much more support from the people around them to get them there. And the IPL is a world-class spectacle that inspires everybody. So it's not just the young kids in India; it's the whole world is massively inspired by the IPL. So it's wonderful to see. I'm involved with a JMR Mentors Academy in Dubai, and we're trying to really improve grassroots cricket there in Dubai. We're having world-class mentors with the likes of Sehwag and Michael Vaughan, Shaminder Vas, Nidadar. People, kids doing their school curriculum and making sure that we're doing a real holistic cricket development with them as well. Physical, individualized sport, nutritionalists, psychology, and all those things you don't get out in the country. So it's really important that that IPL tries to venture out into all these country areas, as many as they can, and give great support, as we're giving with our JMR Mentors Academy in UAE. It's having that holistic support from IPL in so many areas. That would be a wonderful addition to me to really support cricket all around India.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And Sai, a final note, now that we have the points table, CSK has 10, then there is RR and LSG, etc. How do you see it going from here?
Oh, you asked a very tough question. I mean, I still root for SRH, RR, Gujarat Titans, and RCB. These are my 4 choices for playoffs, if I remember, because RR is also doing pretty well. And with the last match against RCB came out in flying colors. So I'm still hoping for the same and keeping our fingers crossed. Anything can happen. You never know till it's over.
Thank you. Thank you very much. On that note, Satish, are you back with us?
Yes. Sorry, I had some.
No worries at all. We wanted to know your final thoughts before we wrap it up.
Basically, I'm pretty happy with how things are panning out right now, because the top 5 which I kind of selected are there in the top right now. Yes, Punjab was iffy because they have this tendency of not making it, but they have shown that they have that consistency right now. But my only worry is Rajasthan, because after doing well and they are now slipping, I think a couple of losses now. But they have the team. They are probably the best team, and I'm sure. By the way, let's wrap it up before asking. Like today's game, Sai, who's your bet? SRH versus Delhi.
No questions asking this. It's a straightforward answer. It has to be SRH. And Delhi looks a very depleted lot, unfortunately.
Yeah, true. And Paul, your thoughts on today's game?
Yeah, I think Delhi is struggling. So I think it's about momentum so much in sport, and Delhi at the moment haven't got any.
Yeah, but last game since they won, I'm still trying to root for David Warner, and I will try to support him because he's shown some sort of coming back, and then we are doing well. By the way, before we wrap up, I think today Sachin Tendulkar has turned 50.
Correct.
So I think we have to wish him a happy birthday as well. Thank
very
you.
Happy
Sadiq.
birthday to the little master.
He's got his birthday gift with his son playing the IPL.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Sai. Thank you, Satish.
Thank you.